The girl who said I'm doing this for likes, honey, if I wanted to do something for likes, I'll just do makeup tutorials. If I wanted to do something for likes and comments and things like that, I would do makeup tutorials. I do hijab tutorials. I do fashion, which I plan on doing anyways, but not in the same, it's not going to be on the same level of the social and political commentary that I'm bringing to the channel. And that's because people don't like to talk about these things. People don't like to talk about the fact that we're supposed to be wearing hijab and we're not. People don't like, and that includes me, I don't wear all the time proper hijab. People don't like to talk about how Arabs dominate the culture and they still are involved in slavery and women's rights, and just are now in 2017 letting women drive cars. Like, people don't want to talk about the real issues within Islam and the cultural dynamic of African Americans because it makes them feel icky inside. And so that's not my problem, that's more so your problem, and you need to get over it. Like, the whole problem is that we don't like to walk to the mirror and look and remove the mask and say, I'm really a fucked up person and this is the way I talk, and this is the way that my parents talk. Like, that's the issue. And if you don't want to change, like, it's not for me to tell you to change, but the one thing I'm going to do and I'm going to keep doing is having a dialogue that most people don't want to have. Imams don't want to have it, Muslims don't want to have it, our parents don't want to have it, so who's going to have it? And I'm going to have it.
That I'm a fucking legend.
Okay, so I came here to make a part 2 of the video that I made a couple of days ago in relation to are Somali people racist? So I'm gonna make this quick. It's only gonna be like hopefully a 5-minute video, because I feel like people are kind of getting it misconstrued, and I'm not really a rebuttalist. Like, I don't do rebuttals to people's or clapbacks to people's things, but I do want to be socially aware and conscious of what people are saying in relation to me, in relation to what I said in terms of race in the Somali culture. Now, you have to, if you're intelligent, if you use your brain, if you're smart, then you know that not all Somali people are racist. Some Somali people are racist, and there can be racism within the African American or African diaspora in terms of black on black racism issues. Those things exist in the culture. So the term Jareer is a negative. Like, I don't know why this is up for debate. Jareer is a derogatory word used to speak about African American or African American people or African Bantu people or African people of a darker complexion with rougher or kinkier textured hair. Like, that's what the literal definition of what Jareer means to me, and what I've been told Jareer means to Somali people. So I don't know why this is really up for discussion. If you're using a derogatory term, if you are a white person and you go around calling African American people who are dark skinned like myself, who have rougher or coarser textured hair, then that will automatically be a racial discrimination or a discriminatory thing. Like, you are automatically, it's not even up for debate. Like, that's the issue. You are the problem. You need to be out of this, you need to be talked to and talked about. So when we're looking at ourselves in this lens, under this scope, we need to be a little bit more intellectually aware of other people. And there is a problem within the African diaspora in terms of black on black race issues. If we see people, even in West Africa, which I'm doing a video about, there's a problem in reference to how people, what they call African American people, akata is a word that West Africans use to identify, cultural identifiers of how to identify a black person. And the literal meaning is black person, but it has negative connotations and negative influences attached to it, negative meanings attached to it. And I don't know why that's up for debate. The same thing goes for Jareer. Nobody is going around using that word. Some people use it as, and this is an old school term, it's not regularly used by the younger, the youth in Somali culture, although I have heard it in several forums in relation to African American people. So it is a term that is used, and it's used in an inflammatory way when talking about an African American male or female. And I've seen it because I've seen it in these forums. I've seen it with the whole Idris Elba situation, and that's just on a more national platform, a global platform, where we see this man dating this Somali girl, and so it gives people the license to call this man, this darker skinned man, Jarir, which has negative connotations attached to it. And I don't care what you say about it. I don't care. Then there's another word which is adun, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, which means slave. And I've also heard that talked about in relation to darker skinned black people, and this is in safe spaces where Somalis feel safe enough to talk about African people who are darker, or black people who are not Somali. So I don't really know what the debate is about in relation to, oh, she's just doing this for likes and clicks, and this is clickbait and things like that. First of all, I've been living around Somalis for the past 5 or 6 years. I live in a place where the influx of Somalis have steadily risen throughout the years since I was a teenager up until into my 20s. So this isn't like a new thing for me. I've been talking about this for a very long time, a very, very long time. From the first time when somebody told me that their textural pattern in their hair was better than somebody of a darker skin tone or a black person, that had nothing to do with me, but more so to do with how they view that person in the superiority complex that they have, being of somebody of having a different descent, or an Arab descent, because people claim that they're Arab versus African, which that's another thing, a whole different topic of discussion. Because if you have one drop in relation to how white people view black people, if you have one drop of African ancestry, you are automatically assumed as an African. So this Arab descent conversation is kind of like, okay, are you proud of it? Because you subsequently, Somalia was people told me that Somalia was not colonized, but we still have European and Arab influencers in Somalia that ran through Somalia, and people made it, whether they were raped, whether they had an actual relationship with that Arab person, or that Arab person, or that European person. That was a real thing. So I really don't know what the conversation, people need to, the reason that I'm bringing this up is, number one, it was brought to my attention that I'm doing this for likes, and I'm doing this for show, and I'm doing this for attention and for views. This social platform is to talk about everybody. I'm going to be talking about Nigerians, Somalians, African Americans, Africans in general, Europeans, white people, black people, all types of people in relation to race, social commentary, political commentary. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch, you don't have to view. But I will be talking about everybody and how it relates to me. And it just so happens the East Africans that are in my vicinity are Somalis, a little bit of Ethiopians and a little bit of Eritreans, but mostly Somali people. There are a lot of positives to being a Somali person. There are a lot of positives that I've seen in the Somali culture, but I've seen people call my friends the terminology Jarir. I've seen them look at them and discuss, because they are black people and they are Adun people. And I know the difference between Adun and Adan, okay? They use the same cultural identifiers for white people. Adan, which has negative connotations to it, as well as being an identifier for a white person. I heard the terminology for an Asian person, literally meaning small eyes. Small eyes. If you go up to an Asian person, as I said in my previous video, you will know that is a negative, that has negative stigmas attached to it, and has a negative connotation attached to it. So these are derogatory terminologies that I've heard within the Somali community that I don't necessarily like or agree with. You don't have to agree with me, but the one thing that you are doing are you're listening to a different perspective. And the thing that I've seen with Somali people is that they can dish out a lot of hate and spew a lot of hate in relation to how somebody looks, in relation to how they're practicing their religion, because Somalia is 99.9% Muslim, or has Islam as their dominant religion. But they can't take when somebody is criticizing them and they blame it on civil war and generational hate. And it's like, if you are the new generation X, Y, and Z, then you have to be the ones that are going to say, I'm not dealing with I'm not dealing with racism, and I'm not dealing with hate in any form or fashion. Now, if you want to go around hating each other based on the color of your skin and the texture of your hair, fine. I'm really not up for it. If you're a Bantu Somali, I feel, you know, bad that your brothers and sisters don't see you as the same, because there is a hierarchy and a caste system within Somalia that if you have better texture hair, a slender nose, and a lighter skin, that you are better than somebody who has darker skin. And this is not just Somalians. This is Ugandans, Nigerians. This is I'm Caribbean. This is an epidemic within the Caribbean, that people lighten the pigment of their melanin in their skin to be lighter, to get jobs, in order to get jobs and to get mates in this social dynamic, in the social sphere, because these are the European influencers that came and colonized these areas and told them that their nose and their hair and their lips and their skin were not good enough. So if you don't really get what I'm saying, that's not for me to kind of like tell you what you should do. But the only thing that I'm saying is it's healthy for other people to come in to the dynamic and tell you that maybe what you're practicing is wrong. And that's all I'm going to say about it. So I hope everybody has a good day, and I'm out. This is way too long anyways. I'm going to be making a video very soon, cultural coddling, the culture of coddling white people as it relates to African American culture, and how we invite everybody to the cookout even when they don't deserve a pass. So if you want to see that video, please like, comment, and subscribe. It'll be coming very soon. It'll probably drop tonight. This video will probably be somewhere in the middle of the day, and then I'm also going to be going to a podcast situation tonight, so you'll be able to see just different people. You'll be able to see different people and how you'll be able to see different people and how they speak and talk and African American culture, because the one thing that I know is that African American culture is a heavy influencer for everybody across the board, but people often, more than not, don't take the time to really know about African Americans and know their likes and dislikes and what their culture really entails, because we do have a culture. Whether it's heavily embedded in slavery is another thing, and that is a part of us, but that's not the only part of us. And so I'm going to be going to this, and hopefully it'll be a good debate, and you know, you can see some things that maybe you never seen before, and that's good. So anyways, like, comment, and subscribe. The girl who said I'm doing this for likes, honey, if I wanted to do something for likes, I'll just do makeup tutorials. If I wanted to do something for likes and comments and things like that, I would do makeup tutorials. I do hijab tutorials. I do fashion, which I plan on doing anyways, but not in the same, it's not going to be on the same level of the social and political commentary that I'm bringing to the channel. And that's because people don't like to talk about these things. People don't like to talk about the fact that we're supposed to be wearing hijab and we're not. People don't like, and that includes me, I don't wear all the time proper hijab. People don't like to talk about how Arabs dominate the culture, and they still are involved in slavery and women's rights, and just are now in 2017 letting women drive cars. Like, people don't want to talk about the real issues within Islam and the cultural dynamic of African Americans, because it makes them feel icky inside. And so that's not my problem, that's more so your problem, and you need to get over it. Like, the whole problem is that we don't like to walk to the mirror and look and remove the mask and say, I'm really a fucked up person, and this is the way I talk, and this is the way that my parents talk. Like, that's the issue. And if you don't want to change, like, it's not for me to tell you to change. But the one thing I'm going to do, and I'm going to keep doing, is having a dialogue that most people don't want to have. Imams don't want to have it. Muslims don't want to have it. Our parents don't want to have it. So who's going to have it? And I'm going to have it. So have a good day, and I'm out. Bye.